Welcome, myself Rutu Patel, lecturer in chemistry at Parul Institute of Engineering and Technology, welcomes you all to the active learning video program on the chemistry. Okay, now let us try to continue the topic that was related to the catalyst. We have seen in the earlier lecture that what are the catalyst and what are the criteria, or you can say characteristics, to select the catalyst. Now we can just go ahead with that. The definition, just a small definition I would like to recollect. You can say the types of catalyst today we will be discussing, that is positive catalyst, negative catalyst, auto catalyst, catalytic promoter, catalytic inhibitor. These terminologies we will be taking, and also the types of catalysis we will be taking into the further detail. Now you can see here very clearly that the catalyst was a substance which can change the rate of chemical reaction without itself undergoing the permanent chemical change. Means what? It is not going to change its chemical properties at the end of your chemical reaction. Now let us try to proceed ahead. There are the types of the catalyst that we have to see is basically the first, that is positive catalyst. Now what happens in case of the positive catalyst? You can see here, this is basically the Haber's process of manufacturing ammonia. Okay, there is a nitrogen is going to react with the hydrogen in presence of the iron oxide catalyst to form the ammonia. Now here what happens? The positive catalyst is basically the substance which can accelerate the rate of reaction. Okay, that is why it is called the positive catalyst. Why? Because it is always increasing, or it is always accelerating the reaction rate. This is very clear to be kept in the mind, and for that we have selected the example of the ammonia, in which your iron is basically acting as a positive catalyst. The another term, that is second, is your negative catalyst. Now you should understand why it is called negative catalyst. What is so special for that? See, positive catalyst was the catalyst which can always accelerate the reaction rate. Okay, and negative catalyst is a catalyst which can always retard the reaction rate. It means whenever the reaction is going on, then what happens? This negative catalyst will try to decrease the reaction rate. Okay, we have chosen one example, that is you have H2O2, that is your hydrogen peroxide. Okay, and when hydrogen peroxide decomposition process, this reaction is basically decomposition of your hydrogen peroxide. Now when you add phosphoric acid to this hydrogen peroxide, what happens is that water is formed. Okay, oxygen is liberated, and as usual catalyst is recovered at the back. But this decomposition of the hydrogen peroxide is basically retarded by addition of this phosphoric acid, and hence your phosphoric acid is acting as your negative catalyst. Okay, always remember, a negative catalyst is always going to retard the rate of chemical reaction, and positive catalyst is always going to accelerate the rate of chemical reaction. The two examples, in case of the positive catalyst, we have selected ammonia production. Okay, in that your iron is acting as a positive catalyst. For the negative catalyst, we have selected the process of the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide, and this decomposition of the hydrogen peroxide is basically retarded by addition of your phosphoric acid. The third thing, the terminology itself says a lot, that is your auto catalyst. Now what is this auto catalyst? Auto means what? Itself, right? There is something, a provision that one of the reactant or one of the product after reaction will itself act as a catalyst, and what will it do? It will accelerate the reaction. You can see here, there is example of the ester hydrolysis. What is this? This is a ester. Which ester? Ethyl acetate. This is ethyl group, this is acetate group. Okay, so this is known as ethyl acetate. Now it is hydrolysis. Hydrolysis means you are breaking the ester in presence of your water. Okay, so what happens when you are doing this hydrolysis reaction in presence, then there is a product form, that is your acid. This is known as basically your acetic acid. Okay, and this is your alcohol, that is your ethanol. Clear? So your ester is basically getting hydrolyzed to form the acid and alcohol. Now acid formed as a product itself catalyzes the reaction. Now look here, why this example is chosen as an auto catalyst example, because what happens in this ester hydrolysis, the acid, that is your acetic acid, okay, this acetic acid formed will itself act as a catalyst, and that is why you can see here your acid can be denoted as a H plus sign. And what happens, this acid will itself act as a catalyst and is going to initiate, or you can say that basically not initiate but accelerate the reaction. Okay, so hence this ester hydrolysis is the example of your auto catalysis. Then you can see the next thing, that is your catalytic promoter, a very important terminology, that what is the meaning of the word promoter. Whenever in case of catalysis there are many terminologies, you have promoter, you have inhibitors, you have positive catalyst, you have negative catalyst, then you have a poison, so many words are used, but it is very clear to be have idea on what we should use at a time of chemical reaction. See, you look here, there is a catalytic promoter. When we are talking for that, then this promoter are the basically substances which will increase the activity of the catalyst. Means what? Like suppose your catalyst is doing some reaction, okay, what will this promoter do? It will just go and help the catalyst to accelerate the reaction, and hence it is known as the promoter. It will just promote, or it will just motivate the catalyst to work more and accelerate the reaction, and that is why a good name, that is promoter, is given to this compound. If you see here again, we can choose the example of the Haber's process, that is ammonia production. Then there is a given touch, that is you have nitrogen, okay, it is going to react with hydrogen, and in hydrogen you were earlier very well aware that we have used iron oxide as a catalyst, okay, and here molybdenum is shown here, that is basically acting as your promoter. So what this molybdenum will do, it will go and help your iron catalyst and increase its activity. Okay, so molybdenum is basically acting as your promoter here. So next example that we can think is the catalytic inhibitors. Now what do you mean by inhibitor? Inhibitor is something that is going to stop the reaction, okay, by acting as a poison. So in case of catalytic inhibitor, you can see here the substances which can destroy the activity of catalyst is called catalytic inhibitor. Clear? So we have seen catalytic promoter which will accelerate or which will promote the activity of catalyst are known as promoters, but when we talk of the inhibitor, it means they are the substances, okay, which can inhibit the activity of the catalyst is known as your inhibitor, or in other word you can say it will slow down the activity of the catalyst. Now you can just see what examples are there. If CO is present, CO means what? It is carbon monoxide. If it is present during ammonia production, then it will always decrease the activity of the iron catalyst. It means the same Haber's process. If carbon monoxide is present during the manufacture of the ammonia, then what will happen? The efficiency or activity of the iron catalyst is going to get reduced. Okay, now we can see here the important terminology that comes after catalyst, we have discussed the things, that is the type of catalyst we have seen, that is the positive catalyst, negative catalyst, auto catalyst, catalytic promoter, catalytic inhibitor, all the cases we have seen, right? These were the types of catalyst. Now we will move on to the type of catalysis. Okay, there is a difference whenever a long question is asked. Don't get confused between the two questions. The types of catalyst are different, type of catalysis are different, all the terminologies are different and they are related with each other. You can see here now in the catalysis, you can understand the definition, that is the process of changing rate of chemical reaction by use of catalyst is known as catalysis. Okay, lysis is a process, basically catalysis is a process in which we are trying to study that what happens to the chemical reaction when you are adding a catalyst, whether it gets slow, whether it gets fast, what is happening, and this basically study is known as your catalysis process. Okay, and catalyst itself was the compound. So there are the different things, one is the process, one is the substance, and the process cannot go without the substance. That thing should be made very clear to the mind. The next thing that we can think is the types of the catalysis. Okay, now what are the types? See, we have seen the types of catalyst, but now we are seeing the types of the catalysis. Okay, in that the first is your homogeneous catalysis. Now if you see here very clearly, example is there, 2SO2 plus O2 in presence of nitrogen oxide is going to form 2SO3, and again the catalyst is recovered back. Now homogeneous catalysis, what? Let us try to understand first. Homogeneity means in the same phase. Your catalyst and reactant are basically in the same phase. Okay, there is a, what is the phase basically? See, your phase is either in the solid state, liquid state or the gas state, right? Now you have any two reactant, you are starting the reaction and you are adding some catalyst for that. Okay, so what happens, your reaction will get started, some products are formed, but now when you talk of this homogeneous catalysis, then what happens is that your reactant is basically in what state, either they are in solid, liquid, gaseous, whatever is the state. In case of homogeneous catalyst, your reactant and catalyst both should be in the same phase. Okay, they cannot be in the different phase, so this one has to remember. Now in the example that was stated earlier, you can see here very clearly this SO2, oxygen, all these are the gases, and again your catalyst NO is also a gas. So you can see here very clearly that these reactants are in gaseous state, this catalyst are also in gaseous state. So that's why it is coming under the category of the homogeneous catalysis. Okay, now second type, that is your heterogeneous catalysis. Now what happens to the heterogeneous catalysis? You can see here very clearly. Let us try to define first your cases. Okay, before going to the heterogeneous, I want to take another example that you can see here. Again the second example, that is your ester hydrolysis. In case of homogeneous catalysis, you have a ester, this is your ethyl, this is your acetate group, so it is known as your ethyl acetate. Okay, now this ethyl acetate is in your liquid state. You are having water because hydrolysis process is there, it is in the liquid state. In presence of acid, this reaction is going to get catalyzed. So you can see here very clearly that acetic acid is there and ethanol is the product that is formed after the reaction. So what is this homogeneous catalysis definition? Your reactant, these two are your reactants, so these are in liquid state. Okay, and your catalyst, okay, that is H plus, that is your acid, it is also in liquid state. So it means your reactants and catalyst all are in the same phase. Okay, and that is why it is known as your homogeneous catalysis. Now coming to the next thing, this was the case for the ester hydrolysis. Now we will move on to the heterogeneous catalysis, that is type 2. You can look here, that was your homogeneous catalysis in which you have a reactant and catalyst in the same phase. But in case of heterogeneous catalysis, what happens is your reactant and the catalyst will be in the different phase. They can be either in solid liquid, liquid gas, or solid gas. That depends on the reaction you choose. Now let us try to understand definition with the examples. See here, there is Haber's process to manufacture ammonia, right? You can see nitrogen here is there in the gaseous state. Okay, so I have written G here. You have hydrogen that is in gaseous state, so I have written G here. But you have your catalyst iron here in the solid state, so I have written S here. It means what? Your reactants and this catalyst are in the different phase, right? So that is why it is known as your heterogeneous catalysis. Clear? And this results in formation of your ammonia by Haber's process. Now, what are the theories? See, different people have proposed the theories to explain this catalysis process. Now we'll go into the theory. What does this theory state exactly? There are two theories that are proposed to explain the process of the catalysis. The first is your intermediate compound theory and second is your modern theory of the catalysis. Okay, this intermediate compound theory is something explaining that your reactants are reacting, some intermediate compound is basically formed in the reaction, and then again the reaction proceeds by separation of the catalyst at the end of the reaction. Okay, this is the theory of the intermediate compound. Then you have the second theory, that is your modern theory of the catalysis, which is the latest accepted theory in the catalysis field. Okay, let us try to understand what these theories tell us. Look here, the first theory, that is your intermediate compound theory. What it states is, now look, there is a reactant A. Okay, what do you do? First, your reactant A is reacting with your catalyst X. Okay, and then it is going to form product AX.